she has more than one, and one is like, so I have to make sure I'm on the right one.
All
No
right,
kidding. All
I
right,
started
take
the
three.
broadcast.
All right, take three.
I am. I see ya. You're live. I literally see it. You're live.
Okay, take three appear to be working.
Yep, you're live.
Okay. So, anyway, let's get started. I mean, we've been starting, but like, let's actually, yeah, let's
Welcome to
see.
Learn to Code Tuesdays, everybody. I'm
Yep.
Laurel from the Laurel Wheeler Foundation. A little hoarse because I went to a Texas Rangers game yesterday. Here's Taylor.
Yep. And we're live finally. It's been a crazy Tuesday. And I mean, it's been a crazy holiday weekend. I know a lot of people spend their holiday weekend relaxing and doing all that. That's not what we did. Holiday weekend, we had a whole company retreat for Techopolis. So, yeah, it was pretty extensive and definitely very busy.
I hope everyone enjoyed the interview last week. I thought it was absolutely awesome. Big props to Taylor for putting it together, and thank you to Quincy Larson from FreeCodeCamp for coming and doing it.
It was really fun.
And
Um,
thank you to all of our awesome panelists too. That was a lot
yeah,
of fun. I'm
it
sorry
was
I had to
fun.
go right at noon, but I had
It's
to
okay.
go speak to a Rotary Club, so.
Yeah, and if you guys have any chat messages on YouTube, go ahead and I'm monitoring them, so chat away.
But
Um,
what did you guys take away from the interview? I I honestly didn't fully appreciate that they had a GitHub thing and that you could look at a lot of the like how much just the depth and variety of everything they had. Like you can really see it behind the scenes when you look around on GitHub, and I really appreciate looking around and like seeing the magnitude of everything they have. It's really cool.
okay, so we've got a couple chat messages. So Jeff said he cannot get in the waiting room. Let me go ahead and check, Jeff. It didn't seem like you were here. I'm gonna go ahead and disable the waiting room. So if you are trying to Zoom, if you're trying to take our Zoom meeting and you're trying to Zoom bomb, well, that's gonna be tolerated. Okay. So, Jeff, I'm
Yeah, we
not
don't
sure
like Zoom
exactly what's
bombers.
happening, but let me go ahead and let you in. Jeff, it seems like you're not in the waiting room. Hold on. Let me.
I
Sorry
will
about
say
that,
Zoom's
Jeff.
been a little laggy with the waiting room. Um, I feel like today, like when you said you were for me to let you into the meeting, Taylor, it took several seconds for you to even come up.
Here's Jeff.
There we are. There we are.
Okay, sorry,
Hi,
Jeff.
Jeff.
Sincerely apologize for that.
Hi,
I had no
Jeff.
idea.
Like I said, I think today, particularly the Zoom, like it's been kind of laggy as far as people in the waiting room go.
We do have a couple chats. Uh, Sunny, Oblin Sunny, Chris says hello, and we have also one that he said I'm having trouble with the cat photo app, so we will address that. That is true. We will address that.
Let's address it.
Um,
Let's do it.
yeah, well, just a second, Laurel. I think we
Okay,
might also have another chat.
you're good.
Okay, we do not have another chat. I think Michael's here. Um, but yeah. Whoops. Michael is, I think he's coming soon, so he'll be getting the Zoom. But all I'm going to say is we might be doing a special on iOS and other Apple development. So if that shows what's happening, just a sneak peek. Hint, hint. Nudge,
Yay.
nudge.
Let's go.
Um, so you're having trouble with the cat photo app, by Sunny. Can you kind of tell me what's going on, or do you have the Zoom meeting, or can you join? Laurel, did you give it to him already?
If he's registered, he should have it, and if not, you could always put it in. You can send him a message on. I think you can send him a message on YouTube where you can paste the link, maybe or
I
something.
cannot. No, remember when I pasted the link? We had Zoom bombers. I'm not
Oh,
doing that
oh
on
yeah,
YouTube.
we did.
Remember?
That was annoying. I wasn't there.
Yeah,
That was the week I wasn't there.
I know, right? So can you message him or have him message the foundation or
Who is
something?
it?
And the Chris, Old Blind Sunny.
I have no idea. I don't have his info in front of me.
You were the one that told me you were the one that promoted him last, weren't you, Laurel, for the interview, or do you not know him?
What are you talking about?
You were
I
the
don't.
like you told me about him last week when we were doing the interview, saying that you found him in one of Facebook groups.
No, that was a
Sorry.
different person.
Ah, got it. Okay.
Different dude. Unless you have two different names on YouTube and Facebook. I don't know if that was the same first name but different. I don't think it's the same person. So I wonder if there's a
Interesting.
way to send him a private message with
It's
it.
Old Blind Sunny on YouTube.
I don't. Yeah, I have no idea who that may be. And
Yeah, if you can chat and tell me what's up with your cat photo app, we can address it. Cause
let's do
saying
it.
that I need help with the second challenge, or whatever, we want to know more. If you
Yeah,
can,
let's
please.
do it. So comment or do something so that we know what step you're on and what specifically, if you can, tell us what step you're on so that we can find that and kind of see where you're at, and then tell us what issue you're having and we'll make it happen for you. How about that?
Yes.
If you
And we
want to
have pre-launch
register
options.
for the Zoom meeting, you can. The links everywhere. It's usually either uh, on our Facebook page of the Laura Wheeler Foundation if you scroll back enough, or it's out there. You can also email Laurel Wheeler Foundation at gmail.com, LaurelWheeler Foundation at gmail.com, and we can send you the link and you can come that way.
We have many options for y'all.
So that's that. So let me. All right, I've got my email open, just in case.
Okay. So yeah, we're waiting for that. Checking chat one more time, making sure I have nothing else. Sorry about that, y'all. It took us a while to get going. Yeah, it just took me a while to get going this morning. I apologize. It's been a crazy morning over here, so yeah, that's that.
You're good. Sometimes that's just how life goes. But yeah, what did you guys take away from the meeting last week? Or from the interview last week? I took away that I'm definitely a vibe coder, and I learn when and where I need to and can, but I mean, I know it's going to draw criticism from the coding community. I don't care. I'll own it anyway. I'm a vibe coder. Just, it's my personality. You know? I do lots of vibe coding.
Real quick, Laurel, Jackie's missing the Zoom link.
What? I thought Jackie was
Jackie is
here.
on YouTube. Jackie, are you
Yeah,
trying?
I just sent him the Zoom link.
Ah, okay. Sorry, it just said Zoom link, and that link got cut off, so I wasn't sure if it actually went through. I don't think.
Oh.
Hold on. Let me do it
I
because
was like, Jackie's here.
Jackie, I have to do it as a master. Remember, if we do that, though, we're gonna get Zoom bombers, so I'd be careful
Oh,
about that.
sorry.
Yeah. Let's not send the Zoom link on YouTube, okay? People, I'm not saying that it's you, people, or Jackie is the problem, but yeah, let's not do that because last time I did that, I had like 5 Zoom bombers and they all came with their friends.
Oh my God.
Uh,
I
can
remember
I
that
delete
day.
it?
Hmm?
Can I delete it? Like
It
what I
didn't go
just
through,
wrote?
Jackie, because YouTube ate up the link.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're good. It didn't go through.
You're good. Let's just,
We we
we
remember
learned,
that day very
we
well.
learned the hard way not to do that.
Taylor was dealing with it, and oh man, that was like you said, Laurel. You weren't there that day.
No, I was in Colorado getting ready. I was flying out to Colorado getting ready to work an
Mhm.
event.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, I'm gonna keep checking chat, and if there's anything, we will move on, but
I would
yeah.
definitely, but one of the things I took away is I'm definitely, like I said, I still learn coding when I need to for a specific. I've learned about myself that I do best in learning coding either as a vibe coder or when I need to learn coding for a specific reason and purpose. And I know that that might draw me criticism from people, but if I'm being honest about where I am, that is where I am right now and where I enjoy being. And so if you were listening and you're thinking, man, right now I'm a vibe coder with AI and I do learn coding on purpose, but only when and where I really need to accomplish a purpose. If you're thinking, man, that's me, I'm not a professional coder, nor am I trying to be or whatever, just know you're not the only one. I relate. So, um, I definitely know that I am right now where I'm at is that I am a vibe coder. There's
So
different
I
kinds of
got
us out there, you know.
I got the message again, Old Blind Sunny on YouTube. It was not very clear. I couldn't understand exactly what you were saying because it was all like garbled up and I was having a hard time. It felt like it was like dictated and I had a hard time understanding exactly because the words kind of were like off, into one. So if you could resend it, it'd be great. Sorry, Laura.
No, you're good. I was just talking about interesting things I took away from the interview, you know? So,
I like the GitHub repository that
oh my
he
gosh.
had.
That is a gold mine.
I was like, oh, wow.
That is a gold mine.
Um, and he
Literally.
was just a very, you know, nice person. I liked, the things that he talked about, he used to do the hackathons and things like that. And just to get to know him better and
I kind of want to do a hackathon someday. I'm
me
serious.
too. Me too. But I
Maybe
just
someday for fun. This is not a foundation offer. This is like for fun. Maybe someday we should get a bunch of us together on a Zoom call and do a blind person's group hackathon on something.
Hmm.
I don't know.
well,
If
we have
anyone's down to
we
ever do
have
it, I'm
plenty
in.
of people who can present us with a good challenge. With Jeff and Taylor and Michael.
I mean, I'd be down.
Did you what?
A blind led hackathon.
Hmm.
I'm
I,
not suggesting we do it as a foundation led event like, the Laura Wheeler Foundation co-leads this with Techopolis. I'm saying no pressure, nothing formal, for fun and just to hang out and do something really geeky. Maybe someday we do a blind hackathon.
that could be interesting. We'll see what we can do
That
to
would be
arrange that.
fun.
Like maybe we build a game or we build
Hmm.
I don't know, man,
Yeah.
a cool little app or I don't know.
Hmm.
Well,
Maybe we
we'll
do something
see.
fun.
Once you guys get better, and I mean, I know. Let me ask you this real quick. How many of you guys have Macs? Any of you?
Yep. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Okay. Anybody else? Is that it?
David, Alfredo, Jackie.
David does too.
Yeah, I technically have a Mac.
Okay.
Alfredo, Jackie, do you guys have Mac or Windows?
No, I have an iPhone, but I don't have a Mac.
Okay.
Do you have an iPad, Jackie?
I do have an iPad.
Okay.
It's old though. I don't even know if it's been so long since I turned it on. I don't even know if I could get the latest update.
Oh.
Mm.
And no, I don't have a Mac.
All right.
Okay.
Well, uh, reason I said that is because, Michael and I are probably going to do a special on iOS development on this stream, and you have to have a Mac or an iPad to do iOS development.
Oh man. I can't wait.
That's
Yeah,
gonna
it'll
be
be
cool.
awesome.
That's
So,
gonna be
like I
great.
said, Michael, hopefully he'll get out of the meeting and he'll announce some things. But I'm not gonna announce any of these things because I think it'd be better coming from him.
Mm.
But suffice it to say, changes are on the way, and it's gonna be really exciting at Techopolis. So anyway, I just wanted to get that gauge right there, so that way I knew how many people had Macs and how many didn't. So,
Yeah.
but Michael is
So,
the only person who created a whole curriculum about doing Swift UI for the blind.
oh sweet.
So anyway, that's that. Again, I'm kind of trying to tease the big changes, but yeah, kind of waiting for Michael to get off
Well,
of
if you
the.
guys ever want to do a hackathon, okay, out of curiosity, I'm just gonna see what GPT suggests for a hackathon because we're
That's a
sitting
good
here and we're
idea.
just.
It's a great idea.
So you guys talk amongst yourselves for a minute. I'll be back with an answer in just a second. Or with
David,
what I'll tell you
David,
what it
did you
says.
start doing your free code camp yet?
Say that again.
I said, did you start doing your free code camp thing yet?
Yeah, I have.
Oh, cool. Did you do the legacy or are you doing the full stack? Or do you remember?
I don't remember. I haven't looked at it over the weekend.
Oh, okay.
All
Because
right.
yeah, there's two different ones.
Once Laurel is done with this, I've got an answer to help with chat with the cat photo app. So I will wait for Laurel to be
All
done,
right.
and then
Cool.
I will get to that.
Go. Why don't you just go ahead and do it because it's generating me ideas, and so
Okay.
go for it. It was just something I figured we'd all get a kick out of, but it's not an urgent thing. Just go for it.
Hold on just a second. I'm having problems. So what I'm understanding is that you're having trouble making the heading for the cat photo app. So the challenge is, hold on, just let me find it real quick. That you need to, let's see, hold on. Nothing is working on it. So let's see. So I'm let's see. Okay, here we go. So I'm on the second step with header 2. I need to put cat photos in the text, but I don't know how to do it. So let me explain. So in HTML, if you recall, there is different tags, correct? So you have headings, you have paragraphs, you have lists, etc., etc., etc. So when you need to put things into a specific order, so like this cat photo app, this requires an H2. And if you recall, a heading is created by less H something greater. So like less H1, H2, H3, etc. Okay, so what you have to do is less H2 greater. Remember, the greater than is ending the opening tag, because in HTML you have both an ending and an opening tag. And then you do cat photos less slash HTML greater. Okay, so basically you're doing one heading, less HTML greater, right? I'm sorry, less H2 greater, that's the opening tag. And then you're doing cat photos less slash H2 greater. So that less slash is very important. You could also put your code in chat and see if I can evaluate it there. Hopefully that helps, because I was able to get that to pass, and maybe I'm on the wrong track or something is not right. Let me know if you're having trouble with that, but you could also put your code in chat and I could see how I can help you fix it. Or if you can find the Zoom link, go ahead and join our meeting and let's see if we can, that way. So that is that for you. And
Okay, some
Old
interesting
Blind Sunny
ideas
is
it
doing
gave.
the full stack.
Sorry. Go ahead.
So he's doing step 2, header 2. Okay. So yeah, I think I was able to explain that to you. Let me know if it's not clear.
Hopefully that helps.
I hope so.
So I queried GPT just to say to it that we had some blind people and we wanted to do a hackathon for like blind coding. I told it what we were doing and that we were interested in ideas for a hackathon. And some of the most interesting ones it gave me were we could do an accessible flashcard generator where we could generate flashcards to learn coding or languages or any kind of information really. If we made like an accessible flashcard generator app. We could also make an accessible GitHub client that you could run to pull from GitHub more easily. We could also make a tactile map generator for embossers or printers. That would be maybe harder because you'd have to have something to test with. We could make an accessible, minimalistic podcasting publishing platform.
Again, a lot of these are very complex.
Oh, well, that's what GPT is telling me.
Yep,
You could
maybe
also
refine
make an
it and say
accessible database
easier.
builder where you could build and store databases or make a browser-based game. That's what GPT thinks is possible. I think they
Yeah,
sound a little complicated too, but that's what GPT says.
right. Yeah, maybe we should refine it a little bit. But
That's just interesting, just to see.
it is.
I didn't tell it how complicated or simple we wanted it, but anyway, it is interesting.
Do you think the flashcard would be simple enough?
Yes, that could be simple enough. Yeah, I think that could be good.
I feel like it could be, for sure. Why is someone calling me?
It's not me.
I'm like, dude, I'm busy. So, what do you guys want to talk about today? I have something interesting, but I don't know how much of a rabbit hole it would go down.
Well, let me see if I'm having any chats. I'm having a lot of issues today. Let's see. Let me check chats real quick, and then I'm trying to see if Michael's gonna come in soon. Maybe he will. Maybe he needs a link. I can give that to him. But let's see. Me. Okay, he's not home right now, but he knows what I'm saying. Good. And if you need more help, we're always available, and I'm sure you'll be able to find me online or Laurel or whoever.
Yeah.
I'm pretty visible.
Yeah.
Let me go ahead and go ahead, Laurel. Get your topic.
So I was playing with something the other day. I don't want to get like too deep down the rabbit hole, but I was playing a game, and it had to do with. So I'm a birder. I'm fascinated by birds and bird species. It matters, trust me. So I was playing a text-based game where you manage an aviary, and I thought to myself, man, I wish I had a notes document where I could keep track of what I'm doing. Like the various birds that were in this game's aviary. So, out of curiosity, I got ChatGPT. I didn't realize that this was possible, but through just like, I don't know, querying GPT and stuff, I learned and successfully it created me an HTML file that had headings and that had text boxes where I could input data, such as, a species or an age or a color profile, whatever, right? Like whatever I was doing. And I could add it to the list and it would categorize and keep them in a sorted list for me. And I could also add, because in this game, you could spawn like new, birds or new whatever. So I had buttons where I could spawn in this HTML file. I could spawn and add new listings, connecting them to other listings. I had check boxes, so I could check the different, select check boxes and check the different items for the different, I don't know, birds in my list or whatever to perform actions like pair them or unpair them or remove them or modify them in some way or whatever. Or, remove, like delete or add or edit. Anyway, it was fascinating because the HTML file would sort by, in this case, because it was a game of like, animals, it could sort by breed, by age, by color, whatever. And it was fascinating. I didn't realize it. Now, obviously, people could also do this with an Excel or with a numbers spreadsheet, but I didn't realize that I could use an HTML file to do it. And I was just curious because GPT built me the file, but I didn't see the coding for it. And I was curious, what in the world is going on that makes that possible? Because that's fascinating and cool.
I have one question for you. Where's it storing the data?
I have no, I don't know. But somehow it's doing it within the file. But I'm able to look at it as an organized list with headings and selectable checkboxes and action buttons and everything. I don't know.
Why?
I don't
That's
even
the
know
thing.
how to
Like,
know.
where's the data? Where's? I don't know.
It was fascinating to me. I think it was writing it in a combination of HTML, Java, and Python or something, but I don't.
JavaScript.
There was no
Probably.
other storage files. It was a single file.
So did you save it on your
Yeah,
computer?
What extension did it end with?
HTML.
Okay. Well, you can. Does it have like any? Could you ask ChatGPT how did you write this?
I probably could. I was just very fascinated. I was like, what is going on here? That's so cool because I don't know about you guys, but I really don't love spreadsheets as much as I love being able to look at things in an HTML organized data format, like for data entry or data sorting or whatever. So now it wasn't perfect, probably because I need to query it or build it in a query chat GPT to build it in a better way with a few better features, but I was fascinated that you could do it. Okay, hold on. Christopher, I got you. Chris Thornhill, hold on. I'll send you the registration link for the Zoom. I think maybe it was the same person. I just didn't realize it.
Yeah, I knew you were talking to this person.
Well, I didn't realize it was the same person. I thought maybe. Sorry, Chris. Hold on a second. I'll mute myself, and I'll send over
Sorry,
the Zoom
Laurel,
link.
I didn't know his actual name, so.
I did not know. So hold on.
And by the way, Michael's gonna be coming in less than 15 minutes, so we'll have the big reveal also. So
I just
we'll have
thought
a
you
good
guys
time.
would find what I did
Ooh.
fascinating and would find the
Oh,
results
it's pretty
fascinating too.
fascinating.
Was
It
it
sure is.
accessible? Was your web
Yeah, oh,
page?
totally.
I'd like to
I'm
see
not
how.
kidding. It literally worked for what I was doing.
I'd
Maybe you
love to
can
see.
screen share it with us?
Once I refine it and get it working even more perfect, I will, and I'll also share my process.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd love to see
Cool.
what it did for the code.
Yeah, I totally.
Mhm.
I'll put it together for next week. How about that?
Sounds good.
Okay, let me mute myself and go share this link. Hold on.
Oh, hi, David. I didn't know you were attending these now.
I
Surprise.
invited him.
I was like, wait a minute.
You were
I
gone
thought I
2
was
weeks
in the
ago when I
wrong
first.
meeting.
You were gone 2 weeks ago when I started.
Yeah, I was gone. I don't even know what happened. It was crazy.
Almost everyone was gone. It was just me, Laurel, and I can't remember.
Yeah, I was absent that week too. The week I invited him, I was absent.
I think I had. Who knows? It's been
All
a
right,
busy.
no big deal.
It's been. Oh yeah, I was sick that week because that was Access U. No, I got sick because Michael went to the office. Anyway, So yeah, let's see. Like I said, I reset up my Mac, so I'm trying to get all that sorted, but that was fun. So yeah, Michael will be coming in soon, so I will make sure that he is all in. And let's see, trying to think what other things from
Did you
Tech Up will
get your
say.
rabbit working the way
Yes,
you
I
want it to?
did. I got my rabbit. Michael had to set it up because it's not accessible, obviously.
Yeah, yeah. I remember you telling us that, and you were getting it, I think, the next week or something. And
Yeah, and then the interview kind of, I had fun. It was really fun.
yeah.
A lot of people know who we are now, I think,
Hmm.
because of it.
Yeah. I think it's gonna, I think it's a growing community. I think it's, the more people that are interested in this kind of stuff, the more people will come. Share the
Okay, I'm
word.
back. I sent him the link. I am back.
And I know that Chris, you got back and you messaged me about VS Code stuff. That GitHub account is been gone, so I had a little situation where basically I couldn't access the two-factor and the recovery codes were broken, so I had to create a whole new GitHub account. So that was fun.
Sounds like a lot of fun.
Oh yeah. And then I get re-invited to all the Techopolis repos, and I'm like, oh God, sorry, Michael.
How fun, not?
And so what we do is we have an organization for GitHub at Techopolis. So like all of our repos are contained; they're not just under our personal accounts.
Right.
But it was, and then now we have this workflow. You guys might find this fascinating. We have this workflow. Whenever I commit or Michael commits, it sends it to a private Discord channel, so that
Oh,
Michael
that's
knows that there's
cool.
notification.
There you go.
That's so cool.
Do you guys, any of you guys, use the desktop client for GitHub?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Yeah.
I don't and probably should. I probably should, shouldn't I?
I've heard from others
Do you
it
have
does
trouble
make
with
some
it,
things
David? Is
easier.
that why you're bringing it up?
No, I've heard from other people that it makes some things easier.
It does. Michael had a situation this weekend. Well, amongst many, we had a crazy weekend, like I said. And Michael was trying to get Xcode to work so that he could pull my changes from our repo. Well, it required this personal access token. I'm sure you know what that is, David from Beat and Bits. And yeah, so Michael had to like create a whole new one. It was a pain in the butt, wouldn't work 3 times, create more. So anyway, it took a long process, but he was able to get Xcode working. Um,
I didn't know
but
there was a desktop app for
there is.
GitHub.
I didn't either for the longest time, and then somebody told me about it. It's like, oh, I got to look at that.
Yeah, I should check that out too.
I use that all the time.
Do you use it on your Mac, Taylor?
Yeah, I use it on my Mac and my Windows.
Okay.
But right now I'm on my Mac, and then I've got the Parallels VM, and that's pretty much how it's all going to be because I
Mm-hmm.
have, like, since I'm going to have to use Xcode more, that's kind of how it's going to have to be. But man, I don't know if you're in Texas, anybody's in Texas, but we had like a crazy thunderstorm last night. It was fun.
No, but lots of rain here too. Thunderstorms.
Where are
Tennessee.
you at, Melissa?
Tennessee.
I can't keep track of everybody.
It's
And by the
okay.
way, another note is that today is my community call for ACB. So if you guys want to come in, we had to change the topic slightly because of all the changes to Techopolis. So we're talking about AI and mobile today.
Hey, what was that email address that I need to email to get on?
Community@acb.org.
Thank you. I was like, I thought.
Yeah, I saw that you were on today. I looked at
What
the
time?
list.
I'm on it.
2, isn't it 2 our time?
It might be, let's see.
Or
No, because we're
1?
on the same time. Melissa.
Yeah,
I
we're
think
on the same
it's at
time.
1. I think it's
1
at
our
1
time.
Central.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
Okay, one of those times I
Yeah.
was gonna have to go look back at the schedule.
There's a couple of AI things today.
Oh, is there? Oh, yes, because Jeff is on Tuesday topics. He wants me to
Yes.
come.
Mm-hmm.
He texted me at like, I don't know. Well,
Well,
I
it's
was up
gonna
at like
be
2. I couldn't sleep last night. But
6
he
o'clock
texted
our
me.
time.
Yeah, he texted me really
Mhm.
early. He's like, hey, can you be on this? I'm like, okay, fine. I will.
You're just full of events today. It sounds
Oh
familiar.
God, I have events today, and we're doing a whole bunch of things for Techopolis. Michael's finishing up a meeting, and then he'll be in here. So, yeah, I guess right now it's just kind of the Q&A hour, just asking a bunch of questions. I know I'm trying to get like all my ChatGPT stuff sorted out, and I just had to migrate from a ChatGPT personal to a team account, which was a whole load of fun.
Oh,
So
really?
yeah, so I ended up migrating every like custom GPT I make to the
Hey
ChatGPT.
guys.
Hello, Chris.
Morning.
Hey,
Hello,
it's
Chris.
It's Chris here. Yeah. So I did I got now is there spaces in between cat photos and is it uppercase? So like less than H2 greater than cat photos less than slash H2 greater than. Is there spaces in between that or is it all just one string?
So cat and photos should be spaced, and it will tell you like how you need to add space here. But
Oh,
yeah, it
okay.
should.
Cool.
And then less H2 greater, that's also one thing, less slash
Yeah.
H2 greater. Yeah, that should work. And I think it will also accept variants. So if it's like not spaced or et cetera, et cetera.
Okay. Great.
But that
Great.
hopefully should work. And I'm sorry for not getting back to you about the VS Code thing.
Hey, that's okay.
Like I said,
You're
it was. I
busy.
think you messaged the Laurel page, and I was like, I don't. And I think you messaged me too, but Messenger showed something weird. So,
Oh,
and
funny.
that goes for anybody. Sometimes Messenger will not show things. So, yeah, I need to get back to you. And then, like I said, Tech been crazy, but that GitHub account no longer exists, and that setup
Oh,
instructions are out of date. So do not follow them, or else you will get a whole bunch of Vim key mappings for VS
yeah,
Code.
yeah. I wanted to look at your new GitHub and follow everything on the VS Code and everything. I got VS Code installed with NVDA, but I'm trying to figure out how to set it all up.
So there's a couple things you need to do, and this goes for anybody watching on YouTube. You need to follow the Taylor Art GitHub, so at Taylor TaylorArndt, as
Uh-huh.
well as at TECHOPOLIS online. That is our organization business account.
Oh,
So
okay.
you follow that one, and then follow at MikeDoise. That's Michael's GitHub, and yeah, you
Okay.
want to follow his too, because he's got some cool things, and mostly like
Deal.
iOS and Swift related. And then I've got a whole bunch of things, although most of my stuff is on Techopolis's, but I've got a
Cool.
couple things from time to time on mine. So
Good deal. Awesome. Awesome. This is gonna be fun. I can't
it's
wait to.
gonna be very fun, and
Yep.
again, we do these every Tuesday, so yeah.
Awesome. And yeah, I'm thinking I want to create an accessible guitar webpage for my guitar videos, put them up there and some tutorials. Also, like I said, I want to create an audio trucking game to get started off with Windows, and I can use VS Code for that too, right?
Yeah. Because that VS Code's
Awesome.
your editor, and then you'll decide which programming language. Michael's gonna be coming in here in shortly, so Michael, not sure
All right.
you probably know who he is, but he's a programmer. He's actually my manager, and
Cool.
yeah, he comes in here. I work, like I said, I work for him at Techopolis, and he's been programming for, well, I don't know, 14, 15 years, maybe
Awesome.
more.
Maybe
I
I
don't
can get
even
some
know.
help. Maybe I can get some help with this audio trucking game off the ground. Now, I don't want to do like copyright title like 6 Days on the Road. 'Cause that's a Freddie Fender. But I would like to do something like a title of the game, like something with semis, like a title of it. But I don't know really exactly what to do. And I don't want to do
Potentially,
copyright.
that is really not our area of expertise,
Oh,
though.
okay.
Yeah, we really mainly do like non games, or if we do games, it's not like audio games,
Uh
because
huh.
we both have low vision.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's just that. But we could see, and we also have like a courses platform that goes for anybody on the stream. Remember,
Cool.
Taylor Art YouTube is your promo code. Go get 50% off Tech Apple All Access, because yes, it's going up. So you want to get it
Awesome.
now.
Awesome.
So,
Great.
and
All
anybody who's
righty.
subscribed, it will not go up to. So,
Cool. I'm subscribed to your YouTube channel.
yes.
When does it go up?
I'm not sure. Ask Michael.
He's not here.
I know. Ask Michael when he gets here. I can't make those decisions.
I hear that.
Probably in the
Yeah.
next few weeks, though.
And Laurel, I'm glad you gave me the Zoom like you did. Yeah, we don't need no Zoom bombers. Zoom bombers are as bad as spammers on Facebook.
No,
Oh my
you're
God.
totally good, and I didn't realize that you were the same. I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know if I just didn't know your YouTube or whatever, but I just had no idea you're the same person. I was like, oh my gosh.
Well, come on, you guys, hit that subscribe button. I'm already at 310 subscribers. We're gonna
Let's
grow.
go. So, yeah, I'm happy to have sent it to you, and it'll be the same link every single
Awesome.
week. So,
Great.
and
Cool.
feel free to invite other people also to register
Oh, I will. I will.
or to watch on Taylor's YouTube. It's being streamed
Definitely.
there every week too.
Yeah.
So,
I got it.
perfect. Yeah, we just have that protected so that we don't get Zoom bombers.
Oh God, yeah, I know.
Nobody wants a
All
Zoom
their-
bomber.
I had them.
One week I was
ago,
gone,
so,
they had
yeah.
them.
Oh my God. And what were they doing? Just spamming their links all over the place?
They were sharing their screen, saying
Oh,
weird
God.
things.
Oh
and
God.
Things that were not appropriate. So
Oh,
anyway,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Let me mute, guys. While we go over some coding.
Did you have
Sounds good.
to? Did you have to shut it down and reopen it?
Well, no, what I did is I just kept going. I forgot to delete the stream. Probably should have done that, but it's just been, like I said, it's been a really crazy few weeks.
Yeah.
really. I mean, honestly, like
She
truthfully.
she managed it. I mean, she didn't have to do what we had to do that morning when we had to shut
That
the
was
whole thing
Oh,
horrible.
did
down
you
and
have
come
Zoom
back.
bombers too, David?
Yeah, we
About a year
did.
ago.
Melissa did.
Yeah.
What happened?
Oh, well, it was our Bible study, fellowship group, and we were just doing like an anniversary thing, and apparently the link got out to a whole bunch of, and they were just putting nasty pictures up, saying
Oh
very
man.
racially inappropriate things, and just I was like, I can't. There was too many coming out all at one time. I just had to shut the whole thing down,
You don't need
and
that, Melissa. You do
and
not
then
need
come
that.
back and. I said, David, and David was co-hosting. I was like, you just let people in that don't let anybody that you don't know.
I already
Don't.
knew that.
Everybody needs to know the Lord, but let me tell you, you don't need those kind of people.
Nope.
No,
But
exactly.
no, I think like I said, I'm gonna put in some kind of you know, I'm hoping to have like a quick link. We'll see, to, like have a redirect. Um, to the Zoom so it's easy for people to join. So yeah, Michael should be coming
There
soon.
he
Michael,
We'll
is.
set the
Michael, what's up,
username.
buddy?
Here he is.
Oh, hello,
There he
Michael. I guess my Zoom alerts don't
It's
work.
awesome. Well,
Hey
my
Michael.
screen said it weird, but that's okay.
is.
It does it. Yeah, it's weird. So when I was emailing you, right, Lowell, it kept saying file foundation. I'm thinking, wait a minute, this ain't right. Wait a minute, this is I gotta have to delete it and do it. And I was like, why is it reading it weird like that? Maybe Alex reads it weird like that. I don't know.
Oh my
Because
goodness.
I use Alex like 100% of the time. I do got different voices that I could switch to, but
I
I might,
use Alex too.
yeah,
Yep.
Alex is awesome.
Ava is my favorite. The Ava Premium or
Hmm.
whatever.
Yeah.
Michael, are you here?
Check out Ava.
I'm here. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Michael.
We've been talking about you.
Oh boy.
Beers burning.
Hopefully good things.
Yes. So,
Always good.
Michael, would you like to reveal the big news?
So, I don't know if Taylor's talked about this, but one of the things that we've been trying to figure out, as any business does,
Mm-hmm.
what is the thing that, as a business, that is kind of what makes you unique, what makes you stand out. We have a lot of knowledge and a lot of skills. We've taught people how to use Python. We've taught website design. We've built web applications and AI, and all of those things are important. But where do we get our roots? And we Taylor and I talked about this over the weekend, and the answer was very clear. We started this business as a mobile application development business. And so we're going to get back to doing that, to building more mobile app experiences and building, things for iPhone first, and then, still building a great Android experience. But, there are some great Apple developers out there that build for iOS, iPad, and all those things. And that's how we got our start. And we're going to return to that because that's what the company was started to do. With that in mind, we are going to be creating. Last year we taught our first Swift UI Basics course, where we went through and a curriculum of learning to use Swift playgrounds in a group style course. Later this year, we will be making a version 2 of that, where it will go from the basics of Swift all the way through expert level Swift UI programming, accessibly with Xcode. And so we will be teaching the fundamentals of Swift, going all the way through building iOS apps and iPad and Mac. And this will be a completely accessible experience. Wanted to make sure that came across, not like inaccessible, but an accessible experience. Um, where everybody that is interested will get to learn to build these things for free, and it will be on taught by Techopolis. And all you'll need is either an iPad or a Mac. And if you're on an iPad, you can do some with Swift Playgrounds. If you have a Mac, you can do more with Xcode. So we'll be sharing more information about that as time goes on.
Do you want to talk about the training and other like changes? Like to basically reassure people that like training is still happening. Kind of, do you want to go
Yeah,
into that and Tech Apple's all access and saying like if
yeah.
it will go up or down or what?
So we're going to be continuing to offer, all of our courses. You'll still be able to get into to review those. And we did, the Mac Terminal course. We've done Practical Python. All of that will stay around. We may be looking at different platforms and things like that, but um, much of our courses will be video taught courses, except for our um, you know, Swift and Swift UI class. But we'll also still, of course, be helping Laurel with the Learn to Code sessions here. And, we can answer questions about mobile app development along with Free Code Camp and help people get started as well. So it's very exciting stuff.
Yeah, and that's really exciting.
And I would love to just add that last week, the one, we had Quincy on to talk about Free Code Camp. That was a fantastic, learning opportunity, I think, for everybody involved. Wouldn't y'all say?
Yes.
Absolutely. Yes.
So if you have not seen that, go back to Taylor's YouTube. It should be on her channel, and it is fantastic.
So Taylor mentioned the price might be going up for Techopolis at some point.
That is to be determined.
Okay.
We have not determined anything like that. But I mean, if anybody has paid for the year, it will not change.
Yeah, no, I kind of figured that. Yeah, I've paid, so
Mhm. Nothing's
so.
changing there. We will be, as things go on, we may change things. But again, we're going to change the focus of our training um, to be more mobile focused. And, I think if we do training on the platform for Python or JavaScript, we're going to model our curriculum around something like what we have here with FreeCodeCamp. Because why reinvent the wheel, right? And
Right.
and FreeCodeCamp has already created such accessible content.
Hmm.
It's amazing, and I'm sure the same is out there for other things like Python and JavaScript. Well, I mean, FreeCodeCamp does some JavaScript, but
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, that's really good changes, Michael. But yeah, they should still use the Taylor YouTube promo code though,
yep,
because that
absolutely.
will work no matter what.
Hmm.
I forgot to use the promo code, but I'm fine with it.
Okay.
I never did use it. I was like, because it was something to do with bits members or something, but
Yeah, they were
somehow
eligible
I
for
didn't get
2
a
promo codes.
discount, but it doesn't matter. It was fine. It's been well worth, already what the price was.
And we're
So
gonna have more courses coming soon.
Hmm.
yeah.
We're working on some big ones right now, so.
Cool.
But
And we're
yes.
also looking at different platforms. So our platform is based on Thinkific, and it's great, but it also has its challenges with accessibility and things like that.
Oh yeah.
So we're
Hmm.
we're looking at potentially Google Classroom and other
Hmm.
possibilities to really streamline that.
Yeah.
I'm starting to take some courses from a teacher, which I already started his YouTube. So you're now behind Taylor. Um, there's a guy named Paul Hudson, and he does this 100 days of Swift.
Oh, wow.
And by the way, there is, even though Swift is a language for Apple, there
Hmm.
are Swift compilers for Windows, Linux, and other platforms as well.
Hmm.
So you can learn Swift on any platform. You can only you have to have an Apple device to build iOS and iPad apps.
Right.
So you have to have a Mac or iPad to do that. But you can still learn Swift no matter on what system you're on. But he offers a free course, 100 Days of Swift, and then he has a plus for $20 a month where you get more lessons, and it's
Hmm.
fantastic. There's some really cool things out there.
Yeah, there's a couple. I mean, sometimes it's worth subscribing to premium content
Mm-hmm.
on YouTube if, like, for instance, there's a couple that I subscribe to. It's more, you know, for audio editing kind of stuff. But,
Mm-hmm.
it's worth it because they're always putting out new tips and tools that they've learned and the things they go through. And, it's like, so sometimes those premium subscriptions are worth the money.
Well, this is really awesome. I'm super excited about everything, Michael. I always love following everything you're doing and all of the other interesting recommendations you have. I didn't realize that there was a Windows Swift compiler either, so I'm gonna have to look into that. That's cool.
I'm also looking into other ways of doing desktop apps because one of the issues with Windows is desktop apps are kind of a dying breed. Most apps you use in Windows are web applications put in a desktop window. Even Visual Studio Code is actually web. So I personally don't like developing that way. I feel like it is not a true experience if you're using web content inside of a window.
Maybe I'm old school, but I don't like using it that way either.
So I'm having Taylor look into a tool that's made by Google called Flutter, Flutter, and it lets you create cross-platform applications, Mac, Windows, iOS, Android, all in one application. We want to
Wow.
use it mainly for Windows because we want to build the native experiences on the platforms. But it's very interesting. There's one application that I know you all have heard of that uses Flutter on all the platforms, and that is Ira.
Wow.
Yep.
That's cool.
Ira uses Flutter on iOS, Android, Windows, and I think they have a Mac version.
Does Ira have a Mac version? That would be news to me.
They may
I,
just have the Windows. I'm not
I
sure.
think they just have Windows. I haven't even thought to check because I don't use my Mac for those kinds of things.
Mm-hmm.
I use my phone usually for those kinds of things. But I'm on this guy's website, this Paul Hudson, and so I have him bookmarked, and he has his videos on the website and on YouTube. So,
Fantastic.
hmm
And the one thing that I was watching his getting started video, and the one thing that he does say, and I believe this for everything that we do as programmers. We all get into one thing and we think, let's go to something else. And he said, if you start with a language, learn that language really well and then start on other things because then you get good and you can transfer your skills.
Right. Something like what you were talking about last week, about critical thinking. And, that's something that, especially those of us who are more, right brain, I guess, who have like literature and stuff like that are more, it sometimes that doesn't jive with us and we have to learn that part of our brain to get it to work properly.
Right. It's just learning patterns. Critical
Yeah.
thinking is about learning about patterns.
hmm
If something doesn't work, what is the solution that will work best to fix the issue?
Yes.
One thing that I've heard is practice, patience, persistence. John Carson has said that a lot. And
Yes, all of those are very important. And Paul even mentions this in one of his videos. He says that forgetting something is actually part of learning. Now, how does that make sense? How does forgetting something actually be a part of learning? Does anybody know? Because the more times we have to learn about the thing, because we have to continue to use it, our brains decide the importance of that thing. So the more time, so if we forget how to do it and then have to learn it again, it becomes second nature where we don't forget it because the importance of that item that we are having to use is deemed important. Therefore, we don't forget it. Isn't that interesting?
yeah, it is.
Forgetting is part of learning. And that is something I learned today and probably won't forget that. You know, me and Taylor and others teach, WordPress for bits. And to me, WordPress is great. It's fun, but it's not like for me, it's not the same experience as building a mobile app. For some, it is, right? For some folks, that is their favorite thing. But for me, the reason why I've always liked a mobile app is I can make a change to my code and I can press a button and it either works or it doesn't. And then I could go into the app and immediately see that wonderful thing that I've created on an iPhone screen. And it's like, you can start with an actual blank canvas and start painting your picture. You're putting a lot more creativity into a mobile app than you are a website, in my opinion, because a website, much of what you're doing is already there. A mobile app, you're going from nothing to something.
Mm.
And to me, that is an amazing feeling of creativity and accomplishment. So it's really in what you like to do, right? Where do you feel like you are more at home? Where can you express yourself the most? The advantage of a website is if you are more inclined to, I just want to write my blog, right?
hmm
Then a website, putting together a website, designing how it looks is right for you. I am not I can write, I have to work at it, but I can build a mobile app out of nothing in a day without AI. That's how my brain works. And it all is based on what works for you as a developer, you know. Um, the reason why most people start with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript is because it is the most prevalent thing out there these days. But why? Why is it the most prevalent thing out there? The answer is everybody needs web, right? Everybody needs web content. Not everybody needs an iOS app. Not everybody needs an Android app. But everybody needs a website. And so the logic is if you could funnel everybody through learning HTML, CSS, JavaScript, then they can learn what they want. And that's great. But I think that for programmers, there's more to it. And that is, the goal here for most people learning to code is getting your first programming job, which most likely is going to be in JavaScript. However, everybody gets so involved with JavaScript that they don't branch out and look and see what else is right for them. My first programming language was BASIC, QBasic back in DOS. And after that, I stopped programming for a while and went into other areas of computers, building computers and all those kind of things. And when I bought my iPhone, I didn't really have a goal of building Mac apps. It wasn't really an interest. But when I bought that iPhone and I saw that, look, you can make these little apps that do these really cool things and be very creative with how they look. That got my interest. You know, the funny thing is, what really got my interest was not the App Store. And I'm just going to be completely honest with y'all. It's when all of these people were making apps for jailbreaking your iPhone. There were so many different apps even before the App Store came out. And back in those days, heck, oh yeah, I jailbroke my iPhone. I wanted those apps and I wanted to learn to make them. That was when I started hearing about UIKit, which is how you the user interface that you use to build your iPhone apps. And I always wanted to work with that. So we got the App Store. And I tried once or twice to learn, and Objective-C was difficult. Still is. But then Swift came along, and it's such an amazingly easy language to learn in comparison. So that's how that happened. And so I urge everybody, when you're getting into programming, explore what's possible, not what people tell you you should do. Because while not every website needs a mobile app, everybody would love to have a well-designed mobile app. For example, if you look at ACB Link, that's a native Swift iOS app.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at NFB Newsline, that's a native Swift iOS app. And they do amazing things. And they work amazingly well. They also have all of the hardware capabilities of any iPhone or iPad. Whereas a lot of these, JavaScript made apps may not change to dark mode. They may not change their interfaces. They may not, Instagram is not even an iPad app yet. I mean, that's 10 or 11 years. They're just now getting around to making an iPad version. And if they would have done it right in the beginning, built apps to the specifications, then their iPhone app would have just magically transformed into an iPad app. So many developers like to cut corners because they'll get the work done faster and make that dollar, when they would get more trust from their users by doing things the right way. And that goes for Android too, or any platform. So don't get me going on mobile app development. I could go for hours.
I'm looking forward
Michael,
to
I did
studying
look,
this.
and
Sorry, Taylor.
actually 100 days of Swift UI, you should actually do not 100 days of Swift, because 100 days of Swift is actually UIKit
Yep.
only. So
Yep.
recommend starting with 100 days of Swift UI, okay?
Yep.
I was just
Yep.
making sure everybody knew that. And
I
yes,
found it too. Yeah.
I failed the test, so it looks like I gotta start at Bill.
Uh-oh.
I wonder if I'll pass it.
I got 20 questions out of 100.
For Swift UI?
Yeah.
Well, granted, and this is my fault, but I've determined that I've tried to stretch myself so thin and work on so many other projects
I
that
want you to
my
try it,
my
Michael.
my my Swift UI knowledge has really decreased because there's so many things that have come out. Um, like I watched a video from Paul Hudson this morning on um, hacking with Swift Plus on how to make um, a iPad app have a sidebar and an iPhone app have a tab bar, and just like what using the same code. I'm like, you can do that?
And and
Oh,
and he
You're like,
describes
whoa.
things too,
yeah, he
y'all.
does describe things really well in his videos.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to checking it out.
Looks like we'll have to do hacking with Swift UI together.
You know,
Yeah.
Use Swift UI.
and it's interesting because um, there's a there's communities around Python, there's communities around JavaScript, but not a lot of people are doing iOS development. And all you need is an iPad. That's all
Hmm.
you need. You don't need a Mac. You don't need all these other things. You can build your own iOS apps on an iPad. They don't have all the capabilities of all the iOS apps, but you can do it. Get you an iPad, a keyboard, and you could go to town.
I have a Mac and an iPad, so
Yeah, it's and there are some tricks for Xcode, and we can talk about some that sometime. But um, yeah, I mean, there's so many possibilities with that. And now the another big talk of the town in 2 weeks is going to be the Vision Pro. And
oh,
the reason why I say that is that the Vision Pro is about to get basically scene detection from seeing AI, but on device.
oh wow.
So you can turn on voiceover and it will describe what you're looking at.
Hmm. Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
that will be a huge benefit.
if you think about it, we spend how much money on OrCamps as
Mm,
people that are blind? We spend how much money on all these other blindness specific tech things?
hmm. Yep.
And Apple has created all of that in the Vision Pro.
Hmm.
And all we have to do is just develop for it.
Right,
You
exactly.
know, they're talking about Be My Eyes being on here pretty soon.
Cool.
And I mean, how cool is that? You know, how cool is that? Like, I always tell people I bought the Vision Pro as an investment. And now that investment's paying off because now I'm going to get passed through Zoom and actually be able to see people's facial expressions.
Hmm. Yeah.
You know,
I have a question. What do you believe is going to be like one of the like a big app or like software that's going to be developed for the Vision Pro, like other than the ones that you described right now, that would benefit us?
I think some of the biggest things that will benefit us is going to be if Google would invest in this just as much as they are on Android XR. Gemini and Vision Pro could be huge, but also any app that takes advantage of navigation, because you can walk with a Vision Pro and use AI for it to pattern recognize and tell you where you need to go next to get walking directions. Could you imagine that? Like
That would be
That would be
take
crazy.
cool.
take Blind Square and just multiply that times 100.
Mhm.
Right, because Google already has Google Earth and Google Maps.
In Google Street View.
I just wish it wasn't quite so heavy
It
on
is
your
heavy.
face.
It is heavy. They are talking about a new one that will be lighter.
Good. That would
But
be awesome.
if you think about what they're doing with the Vision Pro,
Hmm.
they basically have a MacBook Pro on your face.
Yeah, I know. Hmm.
And and I say that not as a joke.
No, I know.
There's a M2 chip
Hmm.
that's the same chip as in Taylor's MacBook Air,
Yeah, mine too.
but with a fan. So
Hmm.
it's the equivalent of a MacBook Pro because it has a fan. Plus, it has the R1 chip, which is a reality uh,
Hmm.
chip.
Yeah.
And so that's in there too.
Yeah, Brad was talking about, I mean, not Brad, Tree was talking about some guy he knew that he was just using the Vision Pro, in his office, and he wasn't even looking at a computer. He was just using it and doing the gestures and,
Right.
writing in the air. I think that writing in the air was like wild. I was doing that with the one I had, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is weird.
Well,
But
you
it
know
was
that
cool though.
whenever I go see my family, I bring it,
Hmm.
and they're like, we're watching you just write in the air and just tap on things and select things."
Yeah.
And of course, they have no clue what I'm doing because they can't see what's on my screens.
Hmm.
But you know,
Yeah, and you just make your gestures in there, tap your fingers and
I'll tell you about the first instance I had with it that was very strange. So I was talking to somebody on FaceTime on my Vision Pro. And then I said, well, let me see what it's like. Let me see what it sounds like if I go outside because we have air conditioners and all kinds of stuff.
hmm.
So I walked outside with the Vision Pro and I couldn't hear the person I was talking to. Like, why can't I hear you? Did I go out of Wi Fi range? Like, what is going on? It says it's still on Wi Fi. What? Why can't I hear the person? Well, Vision Pro, they call it a spatial computer, right?
Right. Yes.
So basically, I was on FaceTime and I left the FaceTime window in my bedroom.
Oops.
So
Wow.
they were talking and they could hear me, but I couldn't hear them because I left the window in my bedroom. So I walked back in the house and you can actually grab windows. So
Hmm.
I was standing there with my two fingers holding this window, and I went outside and was walking around holding this window, and I was carrying the window with me, like almost like I was physically carrying an object with me.
Right.
And the fact that you could do that and
That's
it keeps track of that.
that's wild.
So technically, and I don't know how this, I really don't know how this works. Okay. Technically, when I traveled to see family, I could leave entire windows at their house.
Yeah. Oh man. Wow. Holy. Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Wow.
isn't that weird to wrap your head around?
Yeah, I'm sitting here like, whoa.
Fortunately, there is a button to bring all your windows back centered to you. So, I mean, but the fact that you could do it, and this is fun too. So I started using my Vision Pro in the car.
Mhm.
Well, the Vision Pro actually does check acceleration. So I went and opened the App Store
Uh-huh.
or a movie, and all of a sudden the movie just goes zoom behind me. It left it
Oh,
in that point of space that I
whoa.
opened it. So the car kept going, the window did not.
Oh man. That's amazing.
Yeah, that's why I keep telling people the Vision Pro is not a device to take lightly. Like it may be heavy, it may be expensive, but you're really getting state of the art tech with that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's kind of one of those things. I think it was ready before its time.
Hmm. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Michael, quick question.
Mhm.
How does it compare to like I'm speaking to different groups, a lot of people are really excited with the Ray-Ban um glasses. Is Vision Pro completely different? Like when I look at it, I've never heard of it before. So when I looked at it, I was like, oh, those are VR glasses. But
Right.
you're saying that it's more than just a VR glass.
It's
Is
more than
it?
just VR. And as of June, this coming June, there will be betas where Be My Eyes and other AI software applications can use the cameras finally, and actually be able to describe what you're seeing, kind of like the meta glasses.
Wow.
Um, so Ira will be able to use Gemini with their new announcements and so many other things. So it will be able to do a lot more than the meta glasses, mainly because a lot of it will be done on device. I have an
Yeah,
app,
because it's got that computing power in it. Yeah,
right?
it makes sense.
I have an app I wrote with AI in 5 minutes that will, it already can describe the items in your environment. So I turned it on and it was like table, lamp, um, TV. So it was describing the items in my environment. And that's without having full camera support. That was just information that the Vision Pro finds and can give to applications without even having full camera access.
It's pretty cool when you think about it.
Oh, it's amazing. It's incredible. I've told people I'm going to have to buy, 2 or 3 more battery packs because I'm going to want to use it to, go out to a park and just people watch or
You
just,
want to use it all day.
yeah. And the battery only lasts 2
2
hours.
hours. Yeah. Hmm.
I'll get me like 2 or 3 of those big Anchor battery packs.
So with the windows, I didn't try the different windows. Does that work with voiceover okay? Like moving the windows or grabbing a different window? I
I
know
know you
you have
can.
some vision, so
I know
it
you
might
can. I
be
don't know how
different.
to do it, but I know
Okay.
you can.
Okay. All right. Because I didn't get a chance to try that part. Because I didn't know you could do that too.
Now, interestingly, as you move your head, VoiceOver will read which window your head is looking at.
Hmm. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, I guess I did.
But you have to use a gesture to move the VoiceOver focus between
Right, right.
windows.
Yes.
And I'm still trying to figure out, are they using iOS VoiceOver? Are they using Mac VoiceOver? Or is this a whole new VoiceOver developed for the Vision Pro?
I'm not sure because it seems like closer to iOS to me, based on, playing with it,
Mm-hmm.
for a few days. It seemed more like closer to iOS than Mac. But, I didn't get to do a lot of stuff I wanted to do with it. So um, I might need to go revisit this.
Well, I
Especially
will
those
def
windows. That just sounded way cool.
I will definitely have more information on it once Vision OS 3 comes out.
And I'm sure that you're going to be training me on it. So,
Oh yes. I think one of the most interesting things was whenever I got my Vision Pro, the first thing I did was join a Bits Friday night chat
yeah, you
using the.
did. And then one time we had to, well, Michael, what happened with your first Vision Pro? Because we had to go get one with my grandparents, right?
Yep.
I can't remember what happened with their first Vision Pro.
Um,
What
it
happened
worked
with something?
perfectly. No, it worked perfectly fine. It worked perfectly
Oh, but
fine.
you had to go get a new case, or you remember you had to replace
No,
something.
no. I recorded 3 minutes of video, and it was 50 gigs.
Oh,
No.
oh my goodness.
Wait, what?
Yes,
Hmm.
Wait,
3 minutes of
how?
video was
What?
50 gigs.
How do you, why? I don't understand.
It's recording spatial video.
Spatial video, yeah.
That's
So
crazy amount of space.
it is because it's recording two videos at once.
Mhm.
That's literally insane. Nope. I'll nope out of that. That's crazy.
And the reason is when you and when you record those videos, you can play them back in spatial mode, and you can be it also records those spatial videos with what's it called, binaural audio.
Oh, yes.
And so it makes it like when you record those videos, you are actually there.
Yes.
And I still need to do this. I want to take the Vision Pro and go where I grew up and record a walk down the street, like where I grew up, and
hmm
have that for the rest of my life. No matter what happens to my family, I will always have that memory of walking by my dad's house.
hmm
That kind of stuff's important, and we can do that now. You know,
Yeah.
but yes. So I had originally bought a 512 gig Vision Pro.
hmm
So I said, if videos are gonna be this big, it's gonna have to be a terabyte.
Oh, yes.
Yes, for sure.
So I went back and I spent the $400 to upgrade because it's Apple, and
Right, right, right,
got the full terabyte, and which is the biggest one they have.
right.
That guy was $4,000,
Yeah.
and I don't regret that purchase to this day. And Taylor did mention the case for it. That was 200. Just the case is $200,
Yes, it is.
but it is a very protective case.
Yes, it is. It's very nice.
And you're gonna bring it to convention, right, Michael?
Oh, absolutely. I call that case the pillowcase. It looks like a giant pillow.
Yeah, it's very nice. The audio was really good and the video. I took video when I had one for a few days too, but I didn't realize it was that big for some reason. But I
Oh,
guess because I
yes.
didn't check, but the audio was really, I mean, you could hear, whatever, wherever you were, you could hear, the sound of where you were.
And on
Um,
Zoom, not necessarily on voice memos, but in Zoom, because Zoom does some noise cancellation,
yeah.
and I heard the quality.
hmm
It is You could use that to podcast. You could
Yes.
you could use the Vision Pro as a way to podcast.
hmm Yeah.
They put some really good mics in that thing.
Yes, they did.
Melissa, when you tried one, did you try the head strap that goes over your head?
Yeah, the one that goes behind you know,
Well, there's the one that goes behind, but there's one that goes behind and over.
this one, the one that I had just went behind your head.
So there's one that goes over as well. It looks a little more weird,
Yeah.
but it takes the weight off of your head.
Yeah, because that thing was heavy. I'm like,
hmm
gosh.
Yeah, it takes that other strap takes all the weight off of your head.
Yeah, I don't know why I didn't have that for some reason. And um, that was one of the big to me, one of the big no, because I was like, I can't deal with this much weight. It felt, it just
hmm
felt weird. And
They may have forgot. So one of the other things about the Vision Pro, I know this is a coding thing, and I apologize, but um, they package it there in the store.
mhm.
You don't just buy an already packaged Vision Pro; they package it in the store and seal it, which is very interesting. So I wonder if they forgot the head strap that you're supposed to have.
I think they did because that was the only one that I had was the, you
Yeah,
know,
there's supposed to be two in the box.
and there wasn't. There was only the one I had in it. The other thing that was kind of uncomfortable for me, and I don't know really why, was just because the heat from, where your eyes are.
Mm-hmm.
It was just I don't have any light perception, but it just felt really uncomfortable. You know, the amount of, I guess it's light or heat or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
you know, from that. It's hard to describe being totally blind, but, you know, um, I'm assuming it's because there's lights from the cameras there.
There are.
Yeah. And so that was kind of uncomfortable too. But the main thing was the heavy, the fact that it was as heavy
Right.
as, yeah. But I liked it other than that. But I sure didn't know about the windows. That's just too cool. You can leave a window somewhere. Oh my God.
And now they have guest mode where you can turn on guest mode and somebody else can use your Vision Pro.
Hmm. I think they had, it seems like I remember seeing a guest thing when I had it too. You could let somebody else use it if you wanted and put it in guest mode. And I was like, oh, good, this is cool because I don't necessarily wouldn't want everybody in my Apple account.
Right.
But they might, if they wanted to play with it, then yeah.
But I mean, that going back to coding, that's what I like about all this is the what's possible is limitless. I could start a mobile app today and have it done by this evening and have it in the App Store tomorrow. I don't know what it would do, but you could do that.
And if it was something that was in high demand that met a lot of people's needs,
Mm-hmm.
then
You know, I remember when I started as an iOS developer back in 2011. I read the entire Apple developer agreement. And there were some funny things, believe it or not, in that agreement. And they talked about you will not make applications that have already had a common solution that are already in the App Store. For example, the App Store does not need another fart sound app. It said that. It really said that in the terms back then. Really? Y'all put this in here?
Wow.
So you never know what you're going to find in some of those
Agreements, yeah.
agreements.
Wow.
But no, I feel like the Meta glasses and the Vision Pro have very different purposes, although they're starting to be very similar. But if I were totally blind, I'm being honest. If I were totally blind, I would buy the Ray-Bans, or I would wait till next year when Google comes out with their Android XR sunglasses. Those look really neat. So they announced these or talked about these at Google I/O last week,
Mhm.
and they're going to have features where you can ask Gemini what was on that coffee cup that I was carrying earlier today. Not even what's on the cup that I'm carrying now, but earlier today.
Wow.
I'm like, really? That's
Where
cool.
That's really cool.
I'm just kind of curious. Is this all being done with like AI and where is all of this information being stored? And when you sign the user agreements to use these things, um, how is your privacy being protected? I'm just throwing it out there because I'm a little
Well,
concerned and confused.
I'm going to be honest with you with Meta and Google. Uh, un- Unless you pay them for something, then we like if we don't pay for it, like if you have a free Google account, like a free Gmail,
Mm-hmm.
we are the product. We are not the customer. We are the product. That's the same with Meta. Meta, I mean, we're buying the glasses from Ray-Ban or whoever makes the glasses, but that's we're not paying Meta for that. We're paying Ray-Ban. So we think that we're paying for this product, but we're really not. So any AI usage we're doing with these things is going right into their training data.
Okay.
Now, that doesn't mean tomorrow somebody can ask what Jackie was doing yesterday, right? But it does mean, in 3 months from now, when Llama 4 from Meta comes out, your data has been used to train what Llama is doing from Meta. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
There's a program that you know, they don't pay you a lot, but anyway, it's called Viewpoints, and they get you to like record 15 or 20 minutes of just saying various phrases, and they, give you different tasks to do to train their, AI models and things like that. And they just say, to speak naturally, etc. But it is, like I said, it's not a huge amount of money, but I've been doing it for a few years with them. And I talked to somebody at Apple Accessibility, one of the guys there, he said, "Oh, I do that program too." I thought it was interesting. You never know who you're going to meet.
Sorry, I've been kind of quiet, guys. I muted myself for a bit because I have been sneezing my head off today.
Oh boy.
I know, I didn't start till after I sat down here, too. Oh my gosh. But this is a super. I've been enjoying listening to the conversation for sure. Michael, I swear you have so many fascinating things to offer everyone every time. You're like literally one of the most interesting tech people I know.
Well, there's technology is always interesting. There's always something new. There's always something changing. And I think it's important to stay in front of that and to stay informed and
Yeah,
learn as much as you can because why not,
absolutely.
and I think I think it's good for people to experience, what is the different things that you could do. Because again, a lot of people feel that if they don't understand HTML, CSS, or JavaScript, then their coding life is over. There are people that feel that, guys. And I want to let people know that that's not the case. There's so many other things that you can do, so many things that you may consider more fun. Um, and it's important to explore those routes because maybe you'll find out, look, website design is not for me. And maybe you'll figure out that AI and data science is your thing, or mobile app development is your thing, right?
Yeah, or even physically building things like playing with Raspberry Pi or
Right.
different types of, you never know.
Which, by the way, that brings me to another point. Did you guys know that with an Android phone, you can do the same thing that most of the same things you could do with a Raspberry Pi?
Hey, seriously, I want you to send me some resources, Michael, because I'm receiving my foundation's work phone this week, and it's an Android, so I wanna dive into that and familiarize myself.
So there's a little app you can get called Server. I think it's called Servers Ultimate or Servers Plus. I'll have to figure out the name. But basically, you could run a web server on your Android phone. You could
Oh,
run
that's
a
so
mail.
cool.
You could run a mail server, a print server. I think Team Talk may even be one of the options. All of these different servers can be ran natively on Android. You can't really do that on iOS, but you could do that on Android.
Any chance you can throw a few resources for me in our group chat, just to like
Absolutely.
help me wet my feet because I've never extensively handled an Android phone before, so I want to make sure I know how to make the most out of it. It
Do you know
won't be
which
my
phone it
main
is?
phone, but my work phone, you know?
Do you know which phone it is?
What's that? Sorry,
Do you know
voiceover started
do you know
changing.
what kind of Android phone it is?
Google Pixel A9.
It's a 9A.
9A, yeah, that.
So me and Taylor just bought two of them. So we know very much about that phone.
Right, so whatever resources you can give me to help me better my work or investigate things that will help the blind community with, that would be great.
There is a wonderful when you hold down the two volume buttons, TalkBack will walk you through a wonderful tutorial on how to use TalkBack.
Perfect. Perfect.
Yeah.
So
And
we
that starts right at phone setup.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, well, I haven't chosen a phone plan yet. I'm probably going to do an eSIM thing, but we can set it up as a tablet for right at this now because I've got Wi-Fi, you know.
Right.
And so, um, while there's a very fine line between work and personal, and it is my work phone, so I want to make sure I don't delve too much into personal stuff on it. I want to make sure that I also have a good grasp of things from like what blindness games are good on Android and what, like you were saying, what types of Raspberry Pi type of deals you can do with Android and what apps work well on Android. And I'm even working with helping people with eSpeak on Android to, because it supports languages
Mm-hmm.
that aren't supported elsewhere. Because even if it's knowing about blind mobile games, if I play with it a little bit, it at least helps me to inform the people that we serve worldwide who are using Android. Hey, you have access to these things, and while I don't use them extensively because they're outside of my work scope, I have downloaded and played with them, and I know that they're accessible, you know?
Right.
So I want to make sure I don't, like, I draw a fine line, but I still would like to be at least knowledgeable enough that I know how to do things on the Android pretty well and can. I specifically chose an Android for my work phone over an iPhone because I wanted to have that ability to hands on and, get well educated in that area, especially as a lot of blind people that we do serve do prefer Android, and I
Mm-hmm.
need to know. I feel like I need to know it.
Right.
So any resources you're willing to throw my way, I'd appreciate it.
Sounds good.
Because I'm also super overworked, and while I am willing to go self-initiate learning, I don't have hours and hours and hours and hours just to go dig up things that people are willing to just help me find,
Right.
So, Well, guys, it's been a really fun Learn to Code Tuesday. Sorry, I've been on mute a little bit. Allergies have been killing me, but I look forward to next Tuesday. And one of these Tuesdays, it would be fun to get into Raspberry Pi and Android so that people are aware. But I don't know if or when you guys ever want to do that. But anyway,
We can do that.
it's been, because I know we kind of deep dived into like iOS and shortcuts, and I know you guys are now making a Learn to Develop or whatever with an iOS course. So maybe one of these times we can dive into, for our Android and also our Raspberry Pi loving friends, maybe we can dive into that.
Absolutely.
Be fun. All right, everybody. Well, I hope everyone has enjoyed it. Subscribe to Taylor Arndt on YouTube. You can contact us to learn how to register for these Zooms, and come follow the Laurel Wheeler Foundation too on social media, and Techopolis, to follow everybody and keep tabs on what we're all doing.
Yep.
So, have anything
All right,
else,
I'm going
Taylor?
to this meeting.
Thanks, guys. Been good.
Awesome. Have a
Always.
great week, everybody.